Illuminati.
I just want to shake some sense into you kids.
And we are going to shake some sense into you kids, because for the time being, at least, we are back.
Well, hey, you are back in style because my phone just gave me a notification that your show is on. I can't believe it.
Yeah, the thing is today when I got my account unlocked, they said, we're not giving all your features back. Basically, they said they're going to throttle me more, as if that, fuck you guys.
They're going to throttle you more. What are they going to do? Kick you into the dumpster and roll you out back?
That was my thought. It was like, you can't throttle me any more than you already are, you assholes. That's not really a threat.
Well, they've been throttling you for a very long time.
So fuck them. Seriously, just fuck them. Who cares?
Anyway,
you? We're back.
Okay.
And I don't know. We've got some stuff to talk about. Some fun stuff to talk about. One will have to bring Wolf on eventually.
What?
Oh God, I really want to hear what Wolf has to say about the magical movie that's coming out. I'm sorry, Jesus, that movie. Fuck. Did you guys watch? Has anybody seen the trailer for what is it? It's some sort of like Harry Potter movie for Black people. Yeah.
Oh, the Society of Magical Negroes.
Yes, the Society of Magical Negroes.
And because of white fragility, they have to make sure white people are happy because they are scared of Black people. That's the whole fucking point.
And
or one of the points.
They said that the white man is the most dangerous animal on the planet. But you know what? I'm not going to disagree with that, actually. I think that is the only truthful thing in that film. And that is, in general, by and large, white civilization is tolerant, civilized, kind, accepting, and generally keeps to themselves until that politeness and kindness is taken advantage of and their patience wears thin. And then, we start dropping fucking nukes on you or warming up the ovens.
Well, like you see on Twitter now and then, I follow a couple of Black people accounts, and one of them was, y'all need to quit pushing white people because this is what it looks like when us Blacks chimp out. And it was a picture of, that's the summer of love. And then the next picture was, this is what it looks like when whites chimp out. And it was a picture of Nazi Germany. It was like, well, yes, but also no. It was like, damn, dude, just come right in swinging.
In general, whites are very patient people until they're not.
Until they're not.
Undead Quinn said this is an Obama-funded movie?
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
Another Obama-funded movie.
Yes.
He's on a roll here. Yeah, he funded that, was it post-apocalyptic movie where the cyber attack knocks out civilization and the guy says, you can't trust white people.
What? I never heard about that.
And then there was an attack of Teslas.
Attack of the killer Teslas.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, I mean, the racial division in our country started under his run. Yeah. He started it. I mean, people pinpoint it back to when he said, if I had a son, he'd be Trayvon Martin. And he got called the fuck out for that by everyone. And he kept running with it. And now look where we're at.
I put a link in the private chat, so it won't let me put it in the regular chat. I cannot stop laughing at this video.
Yeah?
Yeah, go ahead. You should run it. And you should run it because, trust me, it's not dirty or anything. It shouldn't get you suspended.
What video is it?
It's the one I just posted in the private chat.
Okay.
I mean, I can't stop laughing at it. I mean, I really can't. It's like, it's so glorious. It is absolute perfection. Right down to the lighting, the scenery, but most of all, the sound.
The guy parachuting?
Yes. I mean,
I don't think I can nab this with my software, but
oh, bummer. because it's absolutely glorious.
I'll try and nab it, but I don't think I can.
It's that bonk.
Yeah. No, I can't grab it, unfortunately.
Oh, that sucks. Oh, that sucks so bad.
So,
because that was beautiful. Bonk.
Chicken Sith is here to share the following. Brian. And that was one of the things that really got us throttled is we dedicated an episode of Adventures in Awful, the one, I think it was Kim Kim, because, and we dedicated it to Chicken Sith because he had gotten banned from Twitter for a while for calling Mags Versaggio by his real name. Wyan.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, Society of Magical Negroes. What the hell? Seriously, I'm just glad that the Black community isn't really feeling this film either.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people from the Black community saying, "What the fuck are you doing?" They're even offended and find it racist. Oh, is that Chester? Do I hear the kitty purring?
That's the kitten. Chester's probably not coming back.
Oh.
Oh, there's somebody that was letting their big ass fucking dogs loose at night, and they were and during the day, and they were attacking small animals and stuff, and it looks like my cat was one of them. But we weren't allowed to do anything because the sheriff was like, well, anybody who does anything to those animals will be punished to the full extent of the law, until somebody reminded them, if you people at the sheriff's department won't take care of business, we'll start doing it ourselves, and you won't like it. So like, oh, we called in the animal control. It's like, yeah, after 3 months of us bitching.
Hey, Tim, yes, there was a Key and Peele skit about the Vince Clortho in Inner City School of Magic. It was fucking great. That was before, I think, Jordan Peele kind of went off the deep end.
Yeah, he's lost it too.
Yeah, but that skit's one of the funniest fucking skits I've ever seen in my life. Because I worked in inner city schools. So that shit, I was like, yep, seen it.
I guess in other news, apparently every film Disney released this year bombed hard.
I actually was told by people that Wish was a great fucking movie, and I had to bite my tongue.
Well, apparently it bombed hard.
Yeah, bombed hard.
Because you're in California, so I can imagine people being dumb enough to convince themselves that movie's good.
Honestly, a lot of people I know now don't even go to the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to.
Kat and I went and saw Godzilla -1, and it was fucking amazing. One of the best films I've seen in years. And I am glad that it is kicking Hollywood's ass.
Yeah, people are saying that Japan should flood the American market with their movies. And they probably just they would be printing money for them.
The last two, what is it? Was it the last 2 weeks? A Miyazaki film and Godzilla -1 were dominating the box offices.
I want to see that Miyazaki film. I did not realize that one of the characters, I guess one of the main characters, is voiced by Robert Pattinson. Sounds nothing like him. Oh, Neostar does make a point. Guardians 3 did good. That was like the only one for Disney. And I liked Guardians 3. It was not what I thought it was going to be. That was a great twist. Still not a fan of James Gunn, but I do like a good chunk of that cast. So,
well, there's another topic to bring up that I think RALT'S will have a few things to say.
Oh, is it what I think it is? Is this what we've been waiting for all weekend?
Oh, no. I don't know. What have we been waiting all weekend for?
I've been wanting to hear RALT'S take on Civil War.
Okay. The film Civil War.
Steve and
I have only watched a little bit of the trailer, and the fact that they made the hero a journalist shows just how out of touch they are. And the second thing is the map.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Where half the Midwest is loyalist to the government. Yeah, and California and Texas are on the
Yes.
same side.
This
Well,
is what
okay, Steve,
happens when
wait. I was gonna say, Steve pointed this out when we watched the trailer. California is a naval state, it's the Pacific headquarters for the Navy, correct? Correct. We all know that. So you're
Yeah.
telling me that for California and Texas to meet up and then march to the capital, they're going to have to cross the Mojave. They're going to have to cross the Sierra Madres. They're going to have to cross part of the Great Plains, get into Texas with all their equipment, and then go through Tornado Alley and then come up the eastern seaboard. The Navy would have to go all the way down to the Panama Canal, and they're not allowed to bring their ships through the Panama Canal because they're too fucking big, and also treaties and shit. So
They
yeah,
used to. They used to. I mean, I remember there was a big thing. Somebody was sharing video of the U.S. It was one of the aircraft carriers moving through the Panama Canal, and they had less than 3 feet on either side, and it
yeah.
was like, damn.
So
Well-
yeah, already the movie is just yeah. I mean, when they said that there's the Western Coalition that's led by California and Texas, and now the Florida Alliance has joined up with them, but the Midwest has joined with the government. Are you fucking kidding me?
I can
Is
answer
everybody-
why.
Oh, please. No, I want to hear what you have to say.
I can tell you exactly why this film is the way it is. Because this is what happens when you get a Brit to write and direct your Civil War movie about America.
Yeah.
That guy is falling. Apparently, he got the mind virus.
Yes, he did. He used to be good.
Oh, yeah. Well, he did Dread. He did 28 Days Later, Annihilation. Oh, wait, no, Annihilation was woke as hell. Ex Machina. Like, those are all great movies. Yeah, now we're getting this.
But yeah, why have a Brit write and direct this? Someone who obviously doesn't even know what the U.S. map looks like.
Well, it gets even better. The guy obviously does not understand the politics of our country because people were theorizing that he was trying to make it look like the conservatives and the liberals had banded together to take down the president. I'll tell you right now, if Californians even tried to set foot into Texas, Texans would probably kill them all. During a civil war, Texas wouldn't side with California.
Oh, I think there are plenty of Texans just itching for an excuse to take the law into their own hands regarding Californians at this point.
Oh, the first place they would go to is they'd wipe Austin off the face of the map because that's where all the California, you know how Californians invaded Phoenix and took it over?
Yeah.
They took over Austin and Texas.
Well, I hear that Austin's beginning to clear out.
Well, good. I hope so. I hope that I hate saying this because I live in California. I hope they're all coming back here. Just fucking come back and destroy this state. It's okay. Leave everybody else alone.
Yeah. Okay. Chicken soup. The map doesn't count South Carolina among the southern states. You know, the first to secede.
Yeah.
It also puts Kansas as loyalist.
Oh God.
Kansas will go ape shit and start shooting at everybody if they look at them wrong. No, what it is somebody actually figured out what it is they looked at a map and went by, okay, it went for Biden by this much. And that's how they divvied it up, ignoring the fact you like Kansas and Missouri and Nebraska and Oklahoma. It's the big cities that turn it all into blue or near blue or make it a close race. You know, it's the problem we have. It's the problem America has that a Brit doesn't understand. Our real problem is not the individual states. Our real problem is the large cities have become disconnected shitholes that want to lord it over their slaves in the rest of the state.
That and their electoral votes inflated by letting in tons of illegals and then citing them as population.
I mean,
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of people saying,
weird.
oh, the cities have all this industry. It's like, no, they don't. They moved it to China. And the largest economies in the world, most of it reliant on electricity and most of it is service economy or big tech.
And they're all leaving.
Yeah. And they control all the ports. Yeah, that doesn't really help them. And it's not like you can cut them off. It's like you can cut I-5 off. I would say 5 points with probably 20 pounds of fucking dynamite. You know, or what about the railways? 5 points, 5 pounds of dynamite. I mean, there was a wreck. There was a train wreck down near Vader, Washington, that paralyzed the I-5 railway for 2 years. They actually had to go way around it, and it was just because there was a slight earth slip and the train rolled off the tracks.
I think there's a real disconnect as to how broken all these services are in the cities as well.
Most of them don't realize that fucking California imports power from as far away as Arkansas and takes water from as far away as the Colorado River.
I will make an amendment to that. San Diego County no longer takes water because we were able to get in desalinization plants.
Finally.
Before the EPA was like, no, it's damaging. So actually, San Diego is being forced to accept water from LA because LA is strong-armed, and whatever deals were made before, they're forcing San Diego County to buy their water, and we're literally dumping it into the ocean. We don't need it. We have excess.
Have you heard what the new California legislation is up for?
Prop 13.
The one to re-rate gray water as drinking water.
Oh, fuck.
Enjoy that. Enjoy that wholesome gray water.
Oh, you know what? We actually are putting rain barrels in the shit. I think it's the made from PET plastic. You know, strong plastic doesn't like fall apart. Yeah, we're getting those installed. A couple of our neighbors got them installed too. So we might be living off rainwater.
Don't worry. The state will come along and tell you that you don't own the rain and you have to bust those barrels up. That happened in Oregon.
What?
In Oregon, you do rainwater is property of the state of Oregon.
Wow, the people of Oregon are really fucking stupid if they allowed that one to go.
There was huge issues with it, but it didn't matter because Portland said LOL.
I hate cities. I hate cities. And I lived in a city for 17 fucking years. I lived in San Diego, the city of San Diego, for 17 fucking years. I could not wait to get out.
That's why I'm going to repeat. If civilization suddenly fails and stops and there is a war within this country, I think there are so many people outside the cities just looking to get some payback that are hungry for payback.
I was seeing some expert in guerrilla warfare and urban warfare and all that good stuff, talking about how if Civil War II happened, the biggest thing that would cripple the rural areas is the loss of welfare.
Oh, wow.
That the rural areas would come crawling back because of the loss of welfare because, a country boy may be able to survive, but how about their grandma or their parents or their children? How are they going to get along without the welfare? It's like, you have no idea what it would be like if we could ditch 3/4 of the federal laws.
Yeah. And you know what? The vast majority of that welfare is being eaten up by illegal aliens, and they'll just fucking leave the moment you unplug it.
The majority of it goes to the fucking cities. You can't really live off of welfare out in the country. I mean, you can. I mean, Appalachia's got a problem with it. There are communities that have a problem with it, but for the most part, those people actually want to work. They'd rather go back to having a job.
Yeah.
But it's the idea of, they'll have to go off of welfare. And that'll make sure that they come crawling back to the federal government. It's like, number one, welfare is not determined by the federal government. It's determined by state governments. Number two, I don't think it's going to work that way. I mean, the federal government being told to butt the fuck out. I mean, let's look at a huge, and the state government, the blue state, but the state government bureaucracy being told to shut the fuck up. I have a rifle. I mean, let's use the old example. I helped my grandfather put in a septic tank. I mentioned this before. It took shovels. Nowadays, you have to have 2 years of college and spend about $50,000 to put in a septic tank. Why? Because of bureaucracy. and all of the bullshit. And here's what a lot of you don't know. Do you know one of the reasons why the cost of vehicles keeps going up all the time?
Regulation.
Do you know what regulation specifically?
Eco?
California.
Really?
Yep, because California puts all these eco restrictions and everything and all these safety standards and everything else. The car manufacturers don't want to have two separate assembly lines, one for California and one for the rest of the country. So they just meet California standards across the board. And that's what you're paying for. And here's the other thing that gets me. How many of you remember in the 80s what those little shitbox cars got for gas mileage? Like 35, 40 miles to the gallon. Yeah, your average car nowadays gets 32 and brags about it.
One thing that the reason California gas is so expensive is because we have to have a special type of gas in California that the other 49 states do not have to have. That's why gas has always been expensive in California. And I don't even know what it's. They take certain chemicals out or put something else to neutralize. It's
they
really
put something in.
Stupid. Yeah.
So Janelle, I think you should look at the screen.
Oh no, I'm writing back to Chicken Sith right now. Tell them thanks for looking out for me when I flee.
Yeah. The other funny thing is, if you remove the state and federal taxes off of a lot of products, they're suddenly dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Cigarettes, dirt cheap. Gas, dirt cheap. Food, dirt cheap. Oh, and I was having a discussion with somebody, and you know how we've been wondering what's up with all the rent increases when people can barely afford it?
Yeah.
Well, they came up with a good reason. If you're lucky enough to get into a place, you don't take a risk by moving to another city, or a town, figuring there's going to be a place to live. What they're doing is they're doing an end around of the freedom of movement. They're making it so it's too expensive for you to move somewhere else.
That's actually a problem here in California. People are so poor, they can't move.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah, most people who can move already did.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say this, and it sounds cold, but you could always just roll the dice, load your shit up in the car, and drive away.
That's what you did twice, right?
Yeah.
You guys were just like, fuck it, let's start fresh.
Let's start fresh. Let's go. Oh, but you won't have a job. Well, I didn't anyway. Or the job I was working at wasn't making enough money. Well, what about your friends? Well, they don't understand. What about your family? Fuck them anyway. Because they aren't helping me.
Well, things are about to get even more dicey in California. I don't know if you guys probably haven't heard it because it's a California thing. So the reason I said Prop 13 earlier, Gavin Newsom is trying to have the Supreme Court of California repeal Prop 13. That is the thing that makes sure that property taxes do not get raised in California. It is a big thing here. People have constantly fought to make sure that it never gets repealed because they've been trying to do this for years. Well, now Gavin Newsom's trying to find a loophole and have Prop 13 deemed unconstitutional for the state. If that happens, you can bet your ass everybody else, including us, like if that gets repealed, we're gone. Like we will actually be leaving because we won't be able to afford it at all.
I think the thing you got to consider is what effect is that really going to have with that massive population of illegal aliens all living in clown houses?
Well, no, it's perfect because the rest of the wealthy, I mean, it's so brilliant. The rest of the wealthy can come in, buy up everything. They can start building their projects. I mean, they're starting to build projects in San Diego, the city of San Diego, where we were living before we moved here. They started doing accessory dwelling units, which was, it's just a granny flat. Well, people were literally mowing down their backyards and building 5-story condos in their backyards and then charging rent to college students, which caused traffic and everything. But people in the neighborhood were like, my property taxes are going down. Well, that's what they want. Or the price of their house was going down. They want people to sell and flee so they can turn it into a giant freaking ant farm of condos and Section 8 housing. And so now they're trying to do it everywhere. And it's not just that. He also wants to tax businesses on their property too. So everybody's going to flee. The guy's a fucking moron. He swears to God.
No, he's not. He's not a moron. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. Like my wife will tell you at high volume over and over, they are literally out to destroy the union.
Yeah.
No, he made it quite clear that Xi Jinping was more important to him than his own constituents. Flat out said it, and he finally let the mask slip and say, "I don't care about you. None of us in government do, and there's nothing you can do about it." I mean, it was a brilliant move to make this a one-party state. A brilliant move, because they've turned it into their socialist utopia. And when I say their socialist utopia, the people in charge are raking in millions and living the lush life. The rest of us are, there's people scraping by, there's people in the middle, and there's people who have fled. And I
Yep.
can tell you right now, we're not going to be able to afford property taxes on our house if they get rid of Prop 13, because we are middle class. So, of course, they're going to tax you based on your income, too, for your house.
Oh,
Out of there.
you get double.
Yes. So, I mean, it's something I worry about, but I mean, if push comes to shove, we can't stay. I'm not moving back to an apartment in a city. I made it very clear to my husband, no, we are not moving back into an apartment into the city. We will move to another state. You will find another job.
Well,
So
slightly change of subject. This one we might have some fun with. Did you hear that Mark Zuckerberg is building a, what is it, $100 million doomsday bunker in Kauai?
of course he is.
And even though all the construction crews have been forced to sign non-disclosures, the plans have already been leaked to the public.
So he's trying to build his own Vault-Tec vault, huh?
Yeah. And the other thing that I thought was kind of amusing is there were two comments that kept popping up every time this got discussed. The comments were always, yeah, smart thing to do. Build a bunker in one of the most geologically unstable parts of the world.
Oh God, I love these bunkers. The plans get leaked, and I look at them, and I'm like, who the fuck designed this for you? It's just, it's like, okay, we'll have enough food for 5 years. Okay, that's all well and good, but where's your air reclamation? Oh, well, we'll have outside venting. What are you gonna do when somebody backs a truck up to your fucking?
That was the other comment. That was the other comment that kept popping up was, well, all you have to do is find the air vent.
And back a truck up to it and just sit there and smoke cigarettes.
Exactly. That the other thing that I found kind of amusing was how many people said, well, we'll just cement all the doors shut.
Yeah. See, what they don't realize is it's not necessarily that we want to get in there and do things to you. We are perfectly happy with we are positively perfectly happy with cementing you inside and just going away. See, it's not whether or not, we're going to get in and get your supplies. It's making sure that you don't get to enjoy destroying everything and then coming out to rule over the wreckage.
There were quite a few comments of, yeah, his guards will kill him in the first week.
Yeah.
Of course, that it would make perfect. They kill him in the first week, and then they have the vault, and they're good to go.
No,
But
it blows my mind that a lot of these wealthy people think that their guards are going to stay loyal when the shit hits the fan.
Well, that's the other interesting comment that I keep seeing in these that keeps coming up is a lot of people are, well, they know something bad's happening. And then the comment is, yeah, we all know them now. We all know who's guilty now. And they need some place to run to when we come to get them. That keeps coming up a lot is people,
yeah.
Okay.
No.
That they're going to hit a point in which they're going to need to hide because everyone hates them.
In which case, I'll be more than happy to drive a fucking cement truck up. I mean, it's like, do I want to go through the effort of, getting a blowtorch and removing the hinges that are on the outside?
Yeah.
I think that's why Don't laugh. I think that's why Jeff Bezos is really trying hard to get his penis rockets going, because he wants to flee to outer space when shit hits the fan.
Oh yeah,
Because
I'd trust
he's
that.
persona number one on those lists. Everybody fucking hates that.
You know, I wouldn't trust a Bezos rocket, much less a Bezos space station.
No,
And
especially when your rocket is trying to compensate for your maleness. Really, dude?
the other thing is, you know, you spend more than a year in space at a time. You better be in damn good health, because you're going to decline fast.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's just, it seems like these people are really out of touch with the reality of the situation. I almost get the sense that people are, yeah, we'll take your money. Go ahead. Yeah, we'll build you the rocket. Sure, we'll make your bunker in an earthquake zone. Yeah, give me the money.
Oops.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
it's
no,
just,
sorry.
I'm going to use rockets. It's like the slightest bit of study shows you that holy shit is just, I mean, just a colony on the moon is an immense effort that will require an entire nation's infrastructure to support.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, oh, we're going to flee to outer space and die there.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people don't know that it doesn't matter how good your system is right now with the technology we have, they still outgas. So as soon as you stop getting rockets bringing up replacement atmosphere, the outgassing may be slow, but it's going to get you. Space is horrible. Space is fucking terrible. I mean,
Well,
space
it's
is
extremely dangerous.
Yeah, and people don't seem to realize it. It's, you know, it'll hold the oxygen a quarter inch from you and laugh at you as you die. I mean, a pinhole leak and you're screwed. And it's, God. I spent way too much looking at it and decided I wasn't going to deal with all this orbital mechanics shit and all that stupid shit. I'm going to just, LOL, science is for losers. But I don't get it. We're just going to run away and go where? Okay. And when you come out, eventually, we're going to remember who you are.
Yeah.
And
I don't think we're going to fail as bad as they all think we will without them.
No.
I mean, they're expecting us to just go to shit without them.
Yeah.
God, it's amazing how they have fed their own egos to think that they are walking gods, that we cannot function without them. You know, I think honestly we'd be better without social media. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to blame social media.
I think, no, I'm going to say for younger generations, plus, I don't know if you guys have seen the studies, but they've shown that, well, we've talked about it before.
TikTok will give you brain damage.
Well, it's not just that, you know, mental illness isn't just genetic. It can actually spread like a virus through social media. Have you seen, they talked about, you know, liberal left women are all unhinged now and have the same fucking mental illnesses?
Well, it's the same reason they're more susceptible to hysteria.
Yeah.
Which is something we don't quite understand at this point still, that it actually is contagious, and that, what is it, women standing by one woman who's gone hysterical, they may not even be aware that she's hysterical, but they'll get hysterical anyway. Unless some research has changed that was the last I'd read on it, and it's really weird.
I wonder if that's why when I stand next to some women, like I have an unbelievable urge to just turn and fucking punch them. I'm not joking. Like literally, there's something, their vibe, I don't know what, but all of a sudden just an uncontrollable urge to lay them out. I wonder if that's like me and my body being like, yeah, like, no, don't follow the hysteria.
I've seen them. I mean, unfortunately, I went to college for a while in a very liberal area. I didn't graduate because
you went to Olympia.
I went to Evergreen and
Olympia, yeah.
Evergreen, Olympia, and I went to Southern Oregon University.
Evergreen, oh God.
Why?
Because they were the only one that had a class I needed to take.
Gotcha. I'm sorry you had to go through.
I drive up there, and then, you know, I just go home and drink beer, sit on the porch and drink beer. Because, oh God. But I've seen these people. it would be some little bullshit. I mean, it would be a problem that can be fixed with like 15 minutes. And, there'd be a meeting about it. And I'd be like, hey, I can get up and fix that right now. And no, we have to have this meeting. I could literally get up and fix it. No, we have to have this meeting. And over the course of the meeting, these women would start getting hysterical and standing up and at the mic and start crying about how it's destroying their lives. Take a wild guess what it was.
I was about to say something really contrived. I was going to say hamburgers.
No,
Sorry.
no. The water fountain had a bad gasket, so it was dripping. I could fix that in 15 minutes and
Oh,
a trip
dear.
to the fucking hardware store. And they did for 2 weeks. They held these fucking meetings because it's dripping. It's just a little puddle. And about how it's wasteful water and won't we think of the Native Americans, which what they have to do with it, I have no idea. And because these people
Well,
couldn't point out a tribal if their life depended on it,
yeah,
to the
but
point where
remember,
they're
Waltz, you're on occupied land.
actually the first time I heard that was 1997. And eventually I got tired of it. And I went to the hardware store and I bought the gasket, came back, turned the water off, undid it, put the new gasket in, put it back together, cleaned everything up and walked away. Oh my God. Then they're like, something happened to it and now it's not leaking and now we don't know if we can trust it because it could be a buildup of minerals in it. And it's like, you don't want solutions.
No, they just want to complain.
No, it's the what Marx taught about, the permanent victim mentality. You're either the oppressed or the oppressor. There is no middle ground. And these women have embraced it. And they live off it, they thrive off it, and they fucking love it, and it makes them feel good. They've also become total rageaholics. They love that shit.
In a better age, they would have just tossed them out of the village
In
and
a
let them
better,
starve.
this is going to sound terrible. I do not advocate this. I do not advocate this at all. But in a better age, their mother would have turned around and slapped the shit out of them.
No, that needs to come back. I'm
I kind of
sorry.
advocate that.
I mean, I don't advocate hitting women. But in a better age, they would turn around and just slap the shit out of them. Because they work themselves up in hysterics and then they stay there and they want everybody else to stop their hysterics and validate their hysterics. Oh, I need the way I feel validated. Well, you feel like a fucking moron and you're acting like a retard.
I have the problem solved.
Yes, Blue Muse, we're the latchkey generation.
Yeah,
I can tell you how to solve the problem. They need
I'll
to
be
bring back pelvic and uterine adjustments for hysteria. That worked wonders back in the 1800s.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't. There's that old saying: men want solutions, women want to complain about it. And I mentioned that to my wife a couple nights back. I was like, hey, women want solutions. Women just want to be mad. They want you. They want to listen. They want you to listen to their problems. Because I was in the point where I wanted my wife to just listen to me bitch. And she was like, "Well, I could give you solutions, or you could just bitch." I said, "I want to be a woman and just bitch." And my wife said that that's the reason why she doesn't really have any female friends, because the women that she made friends with would start complaining, and she'd see the obvious solution and tell them, and then they start with the excuses. Oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. And it's just this thing.
No, I agree with you. It's when you get your like umpteenth, I can't do that. It's like you no longer want to fix the problem. You want attention.
No. And that is modern society nowadays in a nutshell. It's like, oh, here's the problem. Okay, how do we fix it?
Yeah.
And they just stare at you blankly.
It literally is, as I've said before, it's another form of blue screen of death. They cannot comprehend that you can fix it because they just like the attention.
It's like there was a video going around. A friend of mine shared it with me, and it's this. She's moderately attractive, younger, so yeah. But she goes, "You're misogynist," and the guy looks at her. Apparently, it's some fucking YouTube show and goes, define misogyny. And she sits there and her expression keeps changing and she puts her hand over her heart and then she says in this quiet, tear-laden voice, I would like to leave. And he's like, what, you want to just get up and walk out? And she's like, I would like to go home. And he's like, well, you're free to go home. And she gets up and leaves. And it's like, dude, he just asked you to define misogyny, not, I don't know. It was so weird. I mean, she just.
Oh, no, go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say, no, she blue screened to death. Because she didn't have an answer. The brainwashing would not click it. It wouldn't allow her to let the wheels turn, and so yeah, she had to leave. That shit's great.
I mean, I used to see it in class. I mean, I would see it in class. They'd be up there talking about all the suppression and everything. And I couldn't resist. It was a history class, and we're going over it. And they're going over what women went through in World War One. How they weren't able to go to college, how they had to work, how they were oppressed by having to work in the factories. And it popped out of my mouth, which I told my wife the story that night, and she started laughing at me and told me that's what I get. But I went, oh, yeah, poor Janie. She didn't go to get to college and have to work in a factory. The teacher's like, yes. I said, yeah, John just had to go out and die. And they all stared at me. And then one of the girls raised her hands. I don't feel safe with him in the classroom. I'm like, I'm out. And my wife was like, that's what you get for opening your big fucking yap.
Wow. So this woman in your class was teaching that women were oppressed during a fucking war, probably the worst war. Yeah, the worst war that we had. Men were out there getting their limbs blown off, getting their faces eaten off by chlorine gas. But oh, poor Janie, like you said, couldn't go to college. What the fuck? This is why women are retarded now.
Well, I've seen my wife start yelling at the screen, Yeah. Yeah, but I've heard my wife even say it. Oh, fuck, it's another woman most offended. I was trying to watch some interesting article, and it goes from interesting to women most effective, and I've seen the life leave her body. Like, no. She's like, I just wanted to see what the issue was. That's like that stat came out. 1 in 8 women are homeless, and we have to do something about that. And she's like, oh, so I don't know. We can kill the other 7 homeless. That'll help. Well, they don't want solutions. They literally don't want solutions.
Well, that and whenever those stats come out, hey, hello, no, the problem with those stats also is what do they define as whatever it is they're measuring? What do they define as homeless? What do they define as sexual assault? What do they define as any of this shit? And usually, it's gonna be like, okay, so she had to go crash on her sister's couch for a month. She's homeless.
Oh, that 1 in 4 college girls will be raped. It was actually, before that, it was 1 in 4 college girls will be sexually assaulted. But if you look at their definition of sexually assaulted, you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's like
a guy looked
held
at
your
me.
Hand.
A man looked at me and made me feel uncomfortable. And it's like, this is doing. Everybody's like, this is doing nobody actually any good. I mean, your chances of being raped are higher at a college than in fucking Rwanda during the Civil War. And it's just like, fuck me. Can you stop? And once again, you get back to what Ishii was saying. They work themselves up into hysteria.
Well, what got me was when I went to college the first time. I had 2 rounds through, and first time. Oh, hey! And the first time was right after I got out of high school, and during orientation they're doing the tour of the college, and they're like, okay, now ladies, specifically the ladies here, you see all those poles that have the blue light on the top of them, and they're like staggered like every like 50 yards or so across the campus. It's like, yeah, those are the rape phones. So if you're being attacked, you just pick up one of those phones and the campus police will be notified, but it's only to be used by the ladies for that. It's like, what?
I went to SDSU and I had a night class. You know how you have the one class a week that would be a 3-hour long class from 7 to 10?
Mm-hmm.
I had a class like that when I lived at SDSU, and I never used those phones. And I walked back from campus at 10 o'clock at night to my dorm, and it was deader than dead. There
And
was
I know what
no
that
one around.
neighborhood was like.
Do
And they were
not
always
get
saying that, rapes were happening on campus all the time. And I was like, where? There were rapes happening in my dorms, most likely, than actually being attacked out of the bushes by some like rapist.
do not get me started on the difference between male victims of violence and female victims of violence, because I will end up going off for the rest of the stream. Suffice to say, one of the worst things I ever heard was a friend of mine was domestically abused. And
Oh,
after she
jeez.
left, he called the hotline for people who were being abused. They kept transferring him over to the don't hit your spouse.
Oh, shit.
But he
He
was
got
the one being beaten on?
he didn't get any help. And the worst part he said was when the cops came, the woman officer at the hospital was putting him down, and the guy officer was trying to be sympathetic. And she fucked his ass up. She put him in the hospital. And the woman officer was like, "Oh, you couldn't defend yourself from a 5-foot girl?"
Like,
5-foot
no.
girls can pick up weapons and bludgeon you with them too.
Well,
She used a
shit.
weapon.
I had a boss who is a total asshole. I mean, like this guy, he really should have been arrested, quite frankly. But his third wife was nutso and came after him with a knife and stabbed him in the back multiple times. And when the cops showed up, they wanted to put him in cuffs
Yeah.
until finally the sergeant came and said, "Look, he's the one bleeding. He's got defensive wounds on his hands, and the stab wounds are all on his back, and she doesn't have a scratch on her."
Hey, Kat.
Yeah.
Remember when we were in Scripps Ranch and we were in the car and you're crying because you were having kind of a
Oh,
breakdown, and I'm consoling you, and the cop rolls up and wants to know if I've been hitting you, or if you want me,
yeah.
if you wanted me to be taken away.
And I'm
Well,
like,
see,
"No, he's
yeah,
fine."
I get that. That's like I got fucked up by that. Well, I didn't get fucked up, but I think I've told this story before about when my wife had dental work. Ever tell you guys that about how I ended up on the I-5 in the rain on my face?
No.
Oh God,
No.
this is a great story. My wife loves it. My brother fucks with me. So I go up and take my wife to get dental work, and they pulled a bunch of teeth. And she it was after the baby, so sometimes the baby will wreck your teeth. And so she had a bunch of teeth pulled, and we're in Seattle. And I got lost trying to get to I-5, and I'm sitting there, and I'm reaching over, and she's drooling blood everywhere. And I'm reaching over, I'm wiping off her face with my hand, and then going back to steering. I'm lighting cigarettes. I finally get on I-5, she's leaned forward, and she's got blood running out of her mouth and onto her lap where I have a towel. I've got blood all over my hands and on my face, right? Driving down the road. And this cop passes me, and I look out the window, and the state patrolman is looking at me through the window, and I smile and wave, thinking, "Hey, what's up?" The cop lays on the brakes, whips behind me, hits the lights. I pull over, and they get out with the big guns.
Oh,
And
Oh,
get
shit.
out of the goddamn car! Get away from the woman! They've got
Oh,
me in the
God.
rain on my face, next to I-5, with a shotgun against the back of my head and my fucking handcuffs behind my back. And they're like, "Ma'am, are you all right? Ma'am, can you hear me?"
Oh,
And then
shit.
it came out it was dental work. They got her enough to go, "No, I went to the dentist. My mouth hurts."
In order
I
to
wasn't.
sue you, you dumb fucks.
No, actually, they were
What?
like, "If you want to contact a lawyer," and I was like, "This is Washington State. The Green River killer killed 78 women. He's still at large. I think I'll pass. We're good." I actually wasn't mad. I was like, what if it had been real?
That's a great way to look at it.
What if it had been real? And because the Green River Killer was active still, and there was other killers in Seattle and on the I-5 corridor still active. But it was just the fact of the look on the cop's face, the way he turned and suddenly started talking to his partner, the way they laid on the brakes, and my brother's like, "Think about it, retard. Your hands are covered in blood. Her face is swollen from dental surgery. You have blood on your face, and you're smoking a cigarette. And dude, you shouldn't smile at people anyway. But yeah, I mean, they fucking had me on the ground with a shotgun against the back of my head. What did you do to her? It's like, fuck, I'm gonna die here. But I looked at it as, what if it had been real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they apologized. They were like, all we saw was all the blood and an unconscious woman. We made a mistake. We apologize. And I was like, yeah, but what if it had been real? And I was like, because the Green River Killer is still active, and they just found one of his bodies like a month and a half before, so everybody's on edge.
Oh, jeez.
I just looked up the Green River Killer. Fuck me,
Yeah,
dude. I'm glad they
that
finally caught the guy.
That
case
and
is
his
brutal.
the list is only the ones he confessed to, or that they could
Mhm.
prove because they had body parts. They estimate he killed like triple what they know.
Yeah, they said that he got charged for 48 murders, but they suspect there was way more. That was just a small number.
Yeah.
I
Oh yeah.
can't imagine living in the 80s and the 90s in Washington with that guy running around. And I know Washington was super fucking rural up until
Yep.
it still is. So it was so easy to get away with it too.
The Green River Highway, you drive down the Green River Highway and there would be signs that said do not stop, drive on flat tire. Do not stop for single patrol cars. Do not stop to give aid to people by the side of the road. And it would tell you how far the next safe spot was on the highway. Those signs were, don't stop. If a cop hit his lights, you kept driving to the next place. If you got a flat tire, you drove on the flat.
Oh, shit. Was this guy a cop?
They didn't know.
Oh, yeah, I'm reading the details here. 49 convicted, 71 to 90 plus suspected.
Mm-hmm. Over the course of decades.
Yeah, I said throughout the 80s, 1982 to 1998. Holy shit. Possibly as recent as 2001.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I cannot imagine being under the umbrella of fear of a fucking serial killer for over 2 decades. That's unheard of.
Now you see why I didn't raise hell, why I didn't sue, because that guy was still out there at the time.
Yeah, no, don't. Yeah.
And look what got Ted Bundy, a fucking traffic light.
Mhm.
A fucking bad blinker. But was Bundy around there? No,
Bundy was California.
Okay, because well, Washington, Oregon, and California are like serial killer havens.
Well, the
Oh,
I-5
yeah.
corridor, right?
Yeah, the I-5 corridor is full of crazy people.
I remember as a kid when the cop was going up and down through North County and all through San Diego County and was killing girls. He'd pull them over for a traffic stop and then strangle them, get rid of the bodies. And he did a sloppy job on one of them. That's how they found him. It was up in like Carmel Mountain or something.
It wasn't Carmel Mountain. It was if you're going up the 15, it's the off ramp right after Carroll Canyon. Or if you get off on Carroll Canyon, there's a road that's blocked off there, but they kept the sign up on the name of the road. That road
so it
is
was in the
named
Scripps
after the
Ranch
girl
area?
yeah, that road was named after the girl that died.
Are you thinking of Chelsea King?
I think so, yeah. I just know
Oh no,
that
I'm talking. This was in the early '80s. Was this murder?
yeah,
Chelsea, okay, because Chelsea King was Chelsea King and Amber Dubois were killed by that guy that lived in Lake Elsinore.
Okay, no, it wasn't Chelsea King then. The I just know that the road that's right there off of Carroll Canyon is named after the girl that they found and that street runs parallel to the 15. And I know that, and I was fascinated by it because that was where my house was when I was in Scripps Ranch.
Oh, when that was going on and the news came out, they suspected it was a police officer. My dad told my mom, if the cops hit the lights on you, go to a very public area. Just keep driving.
Yeah, that used to be a
let them
thing.
pull you over.
If you kept driving, you hit your hazards and you keep driving, and the cops got to where you were, and you were a woman alone or a woman with children, they didn't get all fucking butthurt back then. They knew why you were doing it, and they approved. Nowadays, they get all fucking butthurt over it.
Well, did you see a couple of years ago, a pregnant woman was driving down the freeway, I want to say in Arkansas, and she had a faulty blinker, and so a cop hit his lights, and it was on a freeway with no shoulder, so she kept going.
He pit maneuvered her. I remember that.
He pit maneuvered her and flipped her car, and then sat there while her car is upside down. Like I said, the woman's pregnant. She's panicking and freaking out. Instead, he sat there and fucking lectured her about how she should pull over instead of trying to get her help.
You know, she won her lawsuit, and he went to jail.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, like, witnesses were giving statements like, yeah, he just pit maneuvered her. She wasn't doing anything wrong. And then a couple of other officers showed up and said, what the fuck have you done, dude? You're not supposed to do that. By law, if there is no shoulder on the freeway, you are allowed to go until you can find an off-ramp. So, yeah, she was doing everything correct.
Okay, so Tim Cook has a question for you, Ralts. Hey, Ralts, want to weigh in on how a 30-06 is much too big a gun for a deer, and military bullets are bigger in for lethality?
What was this conversation? What was that?
That was some dumbass gun grabber claiming that nobody needs a 30-06 or a 308 to hunt deer unless it's like the biggest deer in the world. And then they said, military bullets are bigger than civilian bullets. And it was like, you can watch my soul leave my body. Oh, God. It's just, they say this shit. The people that say this shit have no idea. And they tell you, I deer hunt. No, you don't. Okay, because, if you hit a deer with a 5.56, it liquefies the organs. No, it doesn't. A 223 isn't even, in some states, a 223 is illegal to hunt with. You literally cannot. Yeah, because it's too small. Because it's too small. And a 308 and a 30-06 are like the number one rounds to use. I mean, 30-30, 30-06, and 308 are the rounds to use for hunting. 308 can be considered a little light. But they were like, you don't need a 30-06 to hunt for deer. It's like, just kill me now. But yeah, these people have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, and they're the ones that think they ought to be able to write public policy, and it's like, oh well.
Well, if it wasn't so sad, I'd say we should enjoy it because we are living in idiocracy. But it's too fucking depressing.
This is the worst dystopia ever. There's no cool cybernetics. There's no cool punk rock. There's no cool hairstyles. There's no cool outfits.
Everything's just kind of lame right now.
Yeah. It's a lame, really lame dystopia.
I wish we were in idiocracy because at least that president had integrity.
Yeah.
Our evil elites that are masterminding are actually a bunch of senile farts on Geritol.
Yeah.
God.
I really wish that we had the cyberpunk dystopia. I would take that any day. Yes, I know it'd be a nuclear ravaged wasteland.
Well, no. Most cyberpunk settings actually aren't post-nuke.
Oh, I'm just talking about Cyberpunk 2077.
Okay.
There's so many friggin' wars between like Militech and Arasaka. No, I thought that like in William Gibson's trilogy, there was some eco damage, but mostly that was because of the urban sprawl. Like the East Coast had basically become one big city.
Yeah,
which I thought was so cool until I lived in a city, and then it wasn't cool anymore.
And the U.S. had pretty much kind of crumbled into a bunch of localities pretending to be a country, and a lot of it was either heavily ruled by a corporate oligarchy or it was just pure anarchy, law of the jungle.
I remember, what was it, Count Zero, the book starts in the Arizona desert, and how different of a setting it was than Neuromancer, which took place in the sprawl. And then the third one,
two good books. There were two good stories in Count Zero. It was 2/3 of a good book.
I honestly, my favorite part of that book, and it's going to be so weird for you guys to hear it, But when the art dealer is sent out to find who is making these boxes of trinkets that are so perfectly put together with basically rubbish, and she comes across the derelict space station, and it's literally I think it was a busted AI using robotic arms taking literally trash, floating around it with the zero gravity and making beautiful sculptures out of it. And for some reason, I thought that was like the most amazing part of the book. And I know a lot of people think that's stupid, but it was the way Gibson described it and how delicately this robot was putting these things together, and how fascinated the art dealer was with watching his process.
I really, really liked Turner's story, and I thought that first introductory chapter was just fucking amazing in pure poetry.
Yeah. Well, I kind of like the whole burnout merc story from Count Zero, but I also like the upstart hacker who thought he looked so cool. The guy who was Count Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was Mona Lisa Overdrive was kind of, I don't know what he was.
Confused. It was the contractually required fourth book.
Yeah, because honestly, I felt that between Count Zero and Mona Lisa Overdrive, we're missing a huge chunk of information. He just jumped forward. And I'm like, what the fuck happened for all of this shit to happen now?
There was a lot to like about Count Zero, though. There was plenty to like. I do think that his portrayal of goths was horribly misunderstood.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, it took me a while to realize that Count Zero was actually a goth. Like when he talks about when he gets dressed and he's so proud of the way he looks, I'm like, oh my God, the kid's a fucking goth. But he's not dressed right.
But he's got them talking like 70s hipsters.
Yes.
Hey, check out my main squeeze, man.
It is kind of funny to go back and read those books, though, with the technology that he had, or was around when he wrote those books, and it's like this shit's so obsolete now.
Well, it took a long time to catch up, though.
Yeah, when I read Neuromancer, it wasn't obsolete yet.
No, Neuromancer wasn't obsolete. No, it was the stuff that they described in Count Zero seemed a little obsolete. Like, what the fuck? Like when they go through, the people are selling the Microsofts in the
Oh, what do you mean, the chips for the brain chips?
Yeah. You know what's another good book of it? Well, not book, short story. And I like the movie too, but the movie and the book had nothing in common except the name of the main character was Johnny Mnemonic. Yeah. I wish they would have done the low text like they did in the short story, where they had no technology and purposely altered their faces to look like animals.
I wish that they had stuck to the actual story in the movie.
Same.
And not used paintball guns.
Did you catch in Neuromancer that Molly talks about what happened to Johnny?
Yeah, yeah. When I read Neuromancer, I was like, son of a bitch. Now I know. Okay, now I understand. Was she Molly Millions first, or did she go by Sally Shears first?
No, that was last.
Okay.
Molly Millions was first.
Okay.
I haven't read those books in, God. I haven't read those books in 20, 30 years. No, 30 years easy. Yeah. I did like Keanu Reeves and Johnny Mnemonic. I really did like the movie. I mean, I just took it as separate, but it completely had its moments, like halt, sinner, and they just run him over with the van.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, Dolph Lundgren in that movie was great.
Oh, he was great.
That shit was great. Halt, sinners, boom.
I want
his knife. Straight out of Shadowrun.
And they just ran his ass over and kept driving.
Oh God!
I repeat, I wanted the knife.
Yeah.
Did you know that? Okay, so Cyberpunk 2077 has so many Easter eggs to all the good Cyberpunk.
Well, that would be great if I could play the fucking game.
Oh, is it not working on Steam? It's working great on Series X. Holy shit, I'm having a blast.
It still does not like me.
Oh, God, Ralts, you would love that game. There's so much that is just fun. And one of the things you can get, one of your implants, is the monofilament laser wire that superheats that they had in the movie John and Mnemonic. You can get that implant in the game and use it.
Oh, it's in the book
Oh.
too. It just didn't glow.
Oh, okay. No, but the guy, yeah, in Johnny Mnemonic, even in the book, the assassin had it come out of his thumbnail, right? Yeah.
Right.
It comes out of your wrist in the game. There's also brain dances are from Strange Days. The squid sets that they would wear.
You know,
Did they do more with them than they did originally, or they have still left that largely unexplored?
The brain dances are mostly used for police investigation in Cyberpunk 2077. So you have to, you know, go through the different layers and stuff, and it's still a pain in the ass. I kind of wish that they hadn't put so much emphasis on doing brain dance investigations because it gets to be a slog. It was
Janelle,
cool the first time.
the brain dance idea was actually lifted from the William Gibson short stories in Burning Chrome. The stories were Winter Market, which I really liked, and the other is there's three. There's Winter Market, Fragments of a Hologram Rose, and then the Burning Chrome story as well. All have feature brain dance, or in that they call it STEM.
I have not read Burning Chrome, and it's sitting on my bookshelf. I've been wanting to read it because I've heard that is one of the best short story compilations out there of short stories, not just William Gibson.
And that reminds me, Janelle, if you haven't watched Welcome to Paradox yet, you really, really, really need to. It's currently free on Amazon Prime.
Ooh.
It's a anthology TV series, but it's all set in a cyberpunk future. And Henry Rollins is in one of them.
And he was in Johnny Mnemonic.
Yep.
He was the street doctor. That's why I felt Johnny Mnemonic was, yes, I know it was a Gibson story, but I swear to God, it felt more like a Shadowrun movie with no magic.
The best Shadowrun movie is still Bright.
I fucking love Bright. I just don't like the guy who wrote it.
Oh,
Max Landis.
Yeah.
Um,
Spoiled rich kid.
Yeah.
With affluenza.
I am going to say that movie is so good that I don't really think he wrote it. Just saying. But yeah, I thought that was when Steve and I were watching it, we're like, oh shit, this is just Shadowrun to a T. Like all the way down to, you know, the elves being in the upper echelon. You know, the first orc police officer. I did like the fact that they made pixies and fairies the equivalent of pigeons. And at the beginning of the movie, instead of having those electric fly catchers, it was for Fae that would fly in and kill them.
The bug zapper.
Was great. The bug zapper, but it was for fairies.
Okay.
Right, you little shit.
Yeah.
Chicken Sith mentioned the RoboCop video game that just came out. Have any of you guys seen this thing?
I've seen it. I haven't played it.
amazing.
I've heard it's a lot of fun.
Same.
Yeah.
Razor played it.
And it's offending the shit out of people, which is great.
Well, good. I hope it's super fucking violent.
Because it sticks true to the movie and was not updated for modern audiences, as they put it.
Well, I'm sick and tired of things being updated for modern audiences.
Yeah.
Everything that's been updated for modern audiences has turned out to be shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I still laugh about the fact that they updated Snow White for modern audiences and everything got leaked and the people freaked out so bad they're having to reshoot the entire fucking movie.
Isn't she out there now saying how great it is instead of
Yep. She says it's one of the greatest fairy tales ever told and it's a wonderful story. It's like, Miss Ziegler, we have so much proof that you were shitting on the story forever and talking about how the prince was awful and that she's her own hero and there's no prince in it at all, or at least there used to not be. But when everybody freaked out, yeah.
Okay, got a comment. Undead says they need a sequel to Bright. Damn it, definitely had an Alien Nation TV series vibe. Speaking of which, when Shadowrun came out and I went through the book, I kind of felt like, you know, the aliens from Alien Nation could be fit right into this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
why
my
not add aliens while we're at it?
Alien Nation is an underrated movie and TV show. That was one of my mom's favorite films when I was a kid. She'd watch the shit out of it. And, I mean, James Caan was starting to have his big comeback after being blacklisted from Hollywood for being an asshole. Like,
Okay,
that was the movie that got him back on track.
best line in that film or exchange? Hi, my name's Rutger Kipling. Oh, Jesus Christ.
What was his partner's name? George San Francisco?
Sam Francisco.
Sam Francisco. Okay.
And they had to change it at the last minute. Originally, his name was George Jetson.
I need to go
But-
back and watch that movie.
But Hanna-Barbera at the last minute said, we'll sue.
Oh, that's a shame because that would have been really funny. I mean, it's also supposed to be a little depressing that, the guys assigning them names are being assholes and trolling them. But at the same time, it was funny. Also, the one thing I like about that movie is seeing Terrence Stamp's character steroided out on methane. The makeup where they had him all roided out was great. Most people hate RoboCop because it's not Halo.
Really?
Look,
Well,
Halo
fuck them.
1 was great. And that's really it for me. I'm sorry, Halo fans. I loved Halo 1, but yeah, I didn't play the rest.
After Halo 3, I just watched the videos of the story on YouTube.
I literally went to the Wikipedia for the game because I was just like, there's too much fucking information. Ooh.
Oh, you
What?
saw the comment?
Yeah.
Want to read it?
Be an Alien Nation Rifts game.
Oh, my character would go nuts on that.
Yeah.
Reptoids!
I remember watching V sitting there because I'm a teenager, and I had friends over, and she ripped that the guy's face when they were having sex after he had had all the surgery to make it compatible, and she started screaming, and I remember it broke her brain.
I just like when Diana
Eats the
unhinges
cat.
her jaw and eats
Yeah.
the gerbil. That scared the shit out of me as a kid. Like, what the fuck? She actually, they did an interview with the actress Jane Badler, and she said that she had to be on a strict diet sometimes because when she was eating the mice, they were actually white chocolate. And so she wouldn't gain weight. She had to exercise a lot because, the different takes, they're eating white chocolate rats. But yeah, that unhinging of the jaw, and also when the girl's water breaks and all the green sludge comes out.
Yes.
And then the fucking baby crawls out of her womb from the C-section. Like, holy shit.
And hisses at everybody.
Yes.
You know what always bothered me about that show?
What?
And it bothered me when because I was living on my own. What bothered me about that show, it still bothers me to this day with a lot of TV shows and movies. Okay. The Resistance is having problems, keeping up their weapons and everything. And they do a successful raid. And what do? They walk by all the alien hardware on the ground because only the leader has a cool laser pistol. I hate that. I absolutely loathe that, our M16s don't work against their body armor, but after we manage to kill like 8 of them, let's just leave their rifles on the ground. You are the worst rebel ever.
Are you just talking about V or others? Because I was going to say, I think special effects budget, they had to stick to the M16s.
It was a special effects budget, but I mean, what's worse is you see it in books. And it's like, just fuck it. I'm tired of telling you.
But,
I hate it in video games.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I want that guy's gun.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing I did like about Halo, and something I like about Fallout and other games too, is you can take the fucking weapon and use it. Because I remember in Halo, you could use the Covenant flechette. That was great.
Yeah, those were fun.
Oh man, and I had to download a mod for Fallout 4 because Fallout 4 had this really bad habit of you'd be fighting some raider and he'd have like a minigun and power armor and a fucking fat man launcher, and you'd kill him and he had a pipe gun.
Oh, I hated that, and I know exactly. That was Concord. It was either Concord or near the Corvega factory. That Raider guy, yeah.
And you said the Fat Man rocket launcher was based on something real?
Basically, it's a low-tech Davy Crockett. That's all it is. Yeah, it's just a low-tech Davy Crockett. It uses a catapult instead of a really shitty solid rocket motor.
Now explain the Davy Crockett.
The Davy Crockett is a 3-man use tripod-mounted tactical nuclear weapon. Low payload used to break up mass tank assaults. It has a effective range of 2.5 miles, which, frankly, you want to fire it and get on the ground real fast. But it was the answer to the Soviet tank rush. According to Wikipedia, they were never deployed. They never went beyond, whatever the fuck Wikipedia says, which is whatever. But yeah, they were making them up until the late 80s, no, mid 80s. But if you look on Wikipedia, it's like no, they never did anything. They just stopped at 1958, and it's like, sure, why not? Okay. But no, it's a battlefield tactical nuclear weapon that you could fire with a couple dudes. The whole thing you could carry with like 3 troops.
Wow.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
I need to look that up. That sounds, yes.
The Davy Crockett.
Actually, I found out about something today that I'm like, why the fuck don't we have these? Apparently, John Deere went to the powers that be during World War II and said we can armor our tractors and it will be cheaper than deploying tanks. And not only that, every single one of your boys knows how to fix a goddamn tractor. It'll be great. And the military said no. It's like, what the hell?
Well, we didn't want to look bad in front of everybody else.
Well, somebody eventually built that with the Killdozer, right?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
But the armored tractors that John Deere developed, they're awesome looking. I'm looking at these things going, man, can we get this for our game?
It was essentially an armored car, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty much, but it's a tractor. And it has this strength tractor, which means you can pull a lot of load. But,
oh my god, that thing looks amazing.
Doesn't it?
I want one. Yeah. That would be so fun to tootle around in. Sorry. Didn't mean to cough in everybody's ear. That came up.
So does anyone give a shit that Van Jones is horribly offended that Vivek Ramaswamy told him to shut the fuck up?
No,
that guy is like Trump Jr. Have you watched him tear people when he told Chris Christie?
It is entertaining.
When he told Chris Christie to just leave the race and go sit down and have a nice big meal at home during the debate, I was like, fuck! Dude came out swinging.
I kind of actually enjoyed when he actually called CNN out on the J6 propaganda.
Yeah.
And they flipped out on air and threw a shit fit.
No, I will say, the guy has also said, too, that he idolizes Trump and he hopes to be his VP. Like, he would totally get out of the race and become his VP. That'd be weird to have 2 Trumps in the office, though.
Well, the problem is that they probably would want to. Trump would probably want a VP that would bring in the more tame or less rambunctious conservative voter who doesn't like his attitude. The ones who are offended by mean tweets.
Oh yeah. Hate EXE says that he hopes Trump picks Carrie Lake. That would actually.
Yeah, that would be great.
I would do that. Yeah. Well, I mean, it sucks that she's the legitimate governor of
Yeah, she is.
Arizona and she got screwed out of it. And I am so upset for you guys, but just the fact that Katie Hobbs got away with it. How the fuck did that happen? And I know you guys could probably do an entire episode explaining why. But
drug cartels, yeah.
Oh, that's right. She had cartel connections, so people are probably too scared to do shit.
In fact, that's why she disappeared for there. It was because of that. But Lake is running for senator for our. So unless something happens, that's where what they're set on. So I think she's wanting to get Kirsten Sinema's seat.
Oh, that's right. Cinema's out, or it looks like she's going to be out. It's going to be an interesting election season because I think you're going to see a lot of independents and smaller party people be voted in, and it's going to cause chaos in the Senate, which I'm okay with.
Yeah, I am too.
We need a shakeup. So.
Well, I'd like to see it all get shaken up because so many of these politicians feel like they are owed their political seats.
I know
that they own them.
Well, it's all. I was gonna say it's a bunch of. I mean, I could be wrong, but I see a lot of nepotism too. A lot of these guys are generational.
Yeah.
That's one thing that the Hillary supporters never got was a huge backlash against Hillary was the fact that we tried this family dynasty shit and it didn't work out.
And she's just a cunt, but
well, that's without that. She didn't get it that your husband was already president. We don't want you.
Well, it's like I remember after Obama got out of office, they were really pushing for Michelle to run. And there's talk that they're going to try, and it looks like Biden's not going to be running for a second term, but I don't think it's possible.
Not according to him.
Oh, did he come out and did he backtrack and say that he's going to run again? I know he said that he was going to run because it's the only way to keep Trump out of office, which made me laugh.
Yeah, he said that he's going to keep. Yeah.
But yeah, I know that they wanted Michelle to run against Hillary. And I don't know why they decided not to have her run at the time frame, but she would have won at the time frame. She would have beaten Trump. She would have beaten everyone.
Who?
People were so. Oh, Michelle Obama.
I don't think so.
No,
you don't think so?
No, not even.
No, she is not as popular as they think.
No, especially after making these movies. But
yeah,
I really. Well, no, never mind. I guess I should, in hindsight, no, I know exactly why they're making these movies.
They're scared.
I don't know if you guys knew this, but the Obamas were planning to move to San Diego and have a beach house out here.
And everyone said, get the fuck out.
Well, they learned remember when Mitt Romney moved to La Jolla and he called the police on his neighbor for smoking weed on their property in their backyard. They were walking on the beach and they saw their neighbor smoking a joint and they called and demanded they got arrested. Now, I don't know what happened. I think they were just like, whatever, give us your weed. But the neighbors told them to sell their fucking house or get out or they were going to make their lives a living hell. And they sold their house and did not come back to California. Yeah, I can't. That's why I say, you're right. These politicians think that they're fucking royalty and they're not. You come strolling into La Jolla, which is a super liberal, rich neighborhood, and try to have somebody arrested for smoking a joint on their patio. A fucking joint. It's a joint.
For those who don't know, La Jolla is so rich and so liberal. They have a little park where the sea lions can come and have their babies. And every once in a while, the hippies will decide that they will be one with the sea lions and then will be absolutely shocked when they are mauled to fuck. Because
not only that, if they don't I was
That's
gonna say
always
they don't
funny.
get mauled. They get diseases from the copious amount of seal shit that's floating in the water.
Yeah,
Well,
that
you know what?
La Jolla's fun.
It was those same rich fucking hippies that turned Children's Beach, which that's what it originally was, into the Sea Lion or Seal Cove. That was a kids' beach.
Mhm.
Just like there were playgrounds and shit. It was meant for children, and the tide pools were, shallow enough that the kids could, swim in them and stuff. But oh no, 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 fuck the kids. Let's make sure the seals have a place to shit and procreate.
And be
Yeah, I don't
loud.
think America's ready for Mike Obama.
No. It's well, I've seen it explained like this. Hillary made after what happened with Obama, Hillary made sure to kneecap every Democratic possibility, any possible Democrat that could challenge her. And
Really?
now, yeah, oh God, after what happened with Obama, remember she was furious that
Yeah.
Obama got the nomination. And then do you remember the 2012 election? How she and Obama argued over the nomination until the very last minute, to the point where people were like, McCain's gonna win this shit because you two are slap fighting. I mean, there was cartoons and stuff of Hillary and Obama slap fighting each other on treadmills while fucking McCain rode a fucking motorized scooter by him, And so after the 2008 and after the 2012, which remember she was rewarded with the State Department, she spent time winnowing out everybody who could challenge her after 2008. Well, in 2012, Obama, humiliated by what she had done, spent his 4 years completely nuking everybody who could challenge his possession of the Iron Throne, because Hillary had possession of it. So, and then when she was running against Trump, she made sure to set the stage by, her and her husband seize the fucking Democrats' Iron Throne and then start nuking all their remaining opposition. So, what you have, and then Trump comes along, and she was like, I can beat him. Let's push him to the forefront because I don't know if I can beat these other people like Jeb, please clap Bush. And and they were like, oh, he's just popular because he's a shit talker. And and they went online and shit talked him, and it's funny because you had like that fucking worthless fucking brick comedian who thinks he's a newscaster telling Donald Trump, oh, please run, for the love of God, I beg you, please run. And then spends 4 years fucking crying like the limey fuck he is. And afterwards, when the dust settles, now they had to also get rid of anybody who could challenge Diamond Joe Biden, who, if you paid attention to politics, already had a huge problem with plagiarism, embezzlement, favor trading. Under Obama, he had a huge issue with it. And they were like, okay, they look around and they're like, okay, if we run Hillary again, people are going to lose their fucking mind. And Hillary's jumping up and down saying, run me again. And the Democratic machine is like, no, no, you did not do well. As a matter of fact, we polled you again and you're even more unlikable. And when all the dust settled, because, think of all the fucking candidates and popular Democrat politicians that they had to nuke leading up to Biden. Think of all of them. And so now, who do they have that can step in on the Democrat side? Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is only popular in Wynant, California. Everybody else thinks he's creepy, and whenever he smiles,
not anymore. The Xi Jinping incident, he lost the majority of his voters.
Well,
right then and there.
When he smiles, it looks like he's about to tell you where he buried an 8-year-old girl.
Yeah, he's Patrick Bateman.
Who else do they have to take Biden's place? Name somebody. You can't.
No.
It's evening happening at the state and county level, because Clinton and Obama went through and completely eviscerated the Democratic Party to make sure it was only their people. But the problem is you have the old Arab tale where a young and I'm going to use this as actually, it sounds like a side note, but it isn't. So an older gentleman, middle age, has his first wife who's his age, and then marries a younger woman. Well, his young wife starts plucking out all his gray hairs so he looks younger. His older wife starts plucking out all of his dark hairs so that he looks more distinguished, and he wakes up bald.
Yeah.
That's what happened to the Democrats. Hillary and Obama each nuked it, and then the Bidens came along with Dr. Jill and blew the rest of it out of the water. Worse, there was the final blockade to the progressives started dropping dead, meaning the progressives start flooding in. And for 50 years, it's been well known that the Democrat Party is this weird fucking alliance of people who should hate each other. But now there's no charismatic figure to control it. Nobody likes Joe Biden because she's white trash personified with a degree. And if you doubt me, take a look at this horrific fucking video from the White House. That video from the White House, I didn't know if I was, being dragged into a Eyes Wide Shut party or being nominated for the Hunger Games, which were going to be held in Whoville. Okay, it was the creepiest shit I'd seen in my life. And the music made it worse. Oh, but if you watch it silent, you're going to be like, what the fuck? But they have nobody to run. Who are they going to run? I mean, they're like, Biden, of course, is going as the incumbent, and it's like, who else do they have? Name somebody that they can put forward, even at a senator level. I don't know.
Well,
I think they really are going to push Gavin Newsom. I really do. They're so out of touch. They think the fucking country loves him.
Yeah. They're so out of touch. They're really out of touch. I mean, they're big time out of touch. I mean, let's take a look at the Thanksgiving picture tweeted out by Kamala Harris.
Oh God.
The gas stove. And then look at the video. Look at the Christmas video.
Jeez,
they think that this stuff is relatable by normal people. But in reality, this is what Christmas in hell looks like.
I liked that comment when you put that. This is Christmas in hell.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, and it's like, what? This is there's so much wrong with that video. Starting at the minstrel show and moving on to, why is this guy wearing a mouse mask from The Shining in this video? I mean,
I haven't seen this video. What is this?
The White House Christmas video.
Oh God, Ishi, I wish you could show it. I wish you could show it without sound, just to show it without sound.
No, they would. I've already got one strike on me, so we just got back on the air.
Yeah. Oh my God, what? And it's I thought it was a parody. I thought it was a lie. I go to the whitehouse.gov, and there it is.
It came out 3 days ago. Right?
My invitation to I don't know what. I mean, if they would have unveiled a small child in a box, I would not have been surprised. I mean, I was like,
what the fuck is this shit of this sugar plum fairy twerking her ass down the hallway?
And let's not forget that last year they were showing off the Biden gift thing, and that was all gifts stolen from the overseas soldier gift thing from Congress.
What? They stole gifts meant for military personnel who are overseas fighting their fucking wars
to put around the tree. To put around the tree in the White House.
That's a special kind of gross. So this nutcracker shit is really disturbing.
No, it just keeps getting. And look how tacky those decorations are. He's on his way. Jill Biden has done such things as cardboard hearts on the White House lawn for Valentine's Day. I mean,
ew.
She is. There are white trash people living in trailers eating mayonnaise sandwiches. They're like, those are the tackiest decorations I've seen in my life. And they've got, Bud Light can decorations. But who are they going to have? Who are they going to have run? Who do they have? They don't have anybody.
No, they don't.
I mean, sure, a lot of their voter base, if you put a new face over it and stamp on Democratic hopeful, they'll all clap like seals. But those people are largely being left behind because they're all brain dead.
They're like all being left behind. They're all dying. And the younger generation is divided ever since Israel happened.
Well, Israel, and there's so much dividing. They're starting to break up because the charismatic leaders who could demand iron adherence, vote blue no matter who, are starting to break up. The same thing's happening on the right. Mitch McConnell is not as stable as he thinks he is. And the Republican, the gay old party, has to realize that if they don't start representing the will of the voters, we're just going to keep voting them out.
Yeah.
We're just going to keep telling them, sorry, but you lose everything. Fuck you, go home. Because they flat out have said, Mitch McConnell, my priority is Ukraine. And let's not forget, what's his name, Pence. I'm not worried about the American voters. I'm worried about Ukraine.
Yeah.
No,
all that shit.
The mask has dropped this year. In the last year, the mask has finally dropped. We're seeing everybody for who they are and what they're really there for. And they have said to us, the voters, the people, we don't care about you at all. We care about our policies and what lines our pockets.
Well, let's not forget they couldn't do anything about the homeless situation and all the shit on the streets in San Francisco until Winnie the Pooh showed up, and then they bust all the fucking homeless to the surrounding towns and pressure washed the streets.
Yeah, that's when Gavin Newsom came out and said, yeah, we know we could have done it. We just didn't feel like it. And that's San Francisco turned on him like that. I never thought I would see that happen in my lifetime. But San Francisco actually turned on him.
All right, Kiki, sorry. But there was also the right before that. There's the thing where what's her name, Cackling Harris, met with some civic leader, talking about the homeless problem is not an issue in San Francisco, and behind him this drunk guy staggers up and passes out on the park bench behind him. That was fucking great. It was like, this is the greatest shit ever. And and I'm gonna say something, the homeless nowadays, they're different than they were 20 years ago.
Oh yeah, they're insane.
Oh yeah,
they're mean
and entitled.
Yeah, they're not just entitled. A lot of them are psychotic,
and they don't want help. They, you put them in an apartment, and they'll trash the place. They don't want a job. They don't want help. They want to get stoned and lay under the overpass.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the way it was 20 years ago.
Honestly, this is going to sound cruel, but if they want to just get fucking high, let's build a park with taxpayer money, put them all in there, and just give them enough drugs till they,
No,
overdose.
The problem is then they spill out over into the surrounding neighborhoods, shitting on your lawns and dying on your front yard. What they need to do is they need to get rid of Narcan.
Narcan?
Is that the stuff that helps you if you get an OD from fentanyl?
Yep.
The police are supposed to use it if they come across fentanyl and they don't know that fentanyl is on something. Because I actually saw, did you ever see the video of the police officer who opened up the trunk and found there was fentanyl in it, and just the vapors alone knocked him on his ass, and they had to hit him with 2 Narcans.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
She just between.
Something happened.
RALT'S?
Give me a second. Give me just a second.
Okay.
Sorry, I was handling something with dogs. But yeah, I mean, you watch that and you're like, what the fuck? How are they doing this shit?
So are they, you're saying that let the people just OD on the fentanyl? Don't revive?
Just let these people, some of these people, they were showing some dude, he was showing off his scar, his Narcan scar. And he had 20, 30 fucking little divots in his skin. And that was from the last 2 weeks.
Oh, God.
Shit.
When I was living in San Francisco, there was a person at school who used to be a paramedic. And she flat out said that one of the worst things about doing night shift in San Francisco was finding heroin addicts who'd OD'd, that they'd been called in, and they hit them with that drug that brings them back from the overdose.
Yeah, Narcan, yeah.
Yeah, and then the addict would then start screaming and trying to attack them, saying, "God damn it, I was enjoying that. That was good money. I paid for that high."
Yeah. Well, there's plenty of videos out there of the fucking guy being brought out with Narcan and either killing or trying to kill the EMT.
Yeah.
These are not the homeless that they were 20 years ago. And they move in packs. They move up and down I-5 like a herd of fucking walkers from The Walking Dead. I mean, that's one of the reasons I left is you would see them coming down I-5 and there'd be like 100 or 200 of them moving moving north next to the southbound lane. And you'd be like, what the fuck? And it was illegal to do. This is what got me. It was illegal to do anything about them. Portland decriminalized homelessness. So these people would fucking park, put up their tents, shit everywhere, burn down shit, and then keep walking. And it was like, fuck this. And these people don't want houses. They don't want jobs. They want to get high and lay around. It's like, fuck. But they sign up for all those services anyway. That way it looks good if they have to go to court.
That's what I was saying. They should build a walled park, round them all up. They should do dead-end drive-in. I don't know if you guys have ever seen dead-end drive-in. They should do dead-end drive-in with these guys. Give them all the junk food and all the drugs they want. And let them just sit there and get high and eat junk food and kill each other.
But then people will go, we need to take care of them.
No, you know what? I'm tired of taking care of them with my taxpayer money. Nobody's getting anything in return from this. You're not helping them. They're just taking advantage of the situation.
How about we just all lure them into San Francisco and New York and then put walls around the city and just leave them there?
I'm okay with that. I mean, it's not my version of Escape from New York that I'd want.
Why don't we actually criminalize this shit again?
Yeah.
I am so tired of permissiveness. I actually got a little pissed the other day. I was went to one of the nearby larger cities. I didn't want to. And we went by and we were in the toy aisle of a major store. And this guy's standing there looking at the Star Wars figures. And he has this shirt on of Betty Boop, sprawled backwards naked, and Winnie the Pooh pouring honey on her. Ugh. This shirt is apparently acceptable to wear in public, in the toy aisle, where little kids are.
Well,
that shit's got to go.
I'm tired of this shit.
People are getting tattoos of people fucking on their bodies now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Like people getting back tattoos of like a hustler porno. And kids, and then they walk around shirtless, like haha, and make sure that kids can see it because haha, it's funny.
It's not.
No.
And these are always childless fucks. They're always childless. They always, they don't have kids.
Thank God for that.
No shit. But we've got this, we've got to start enforcing the laws. We do. I mean, we're not enforcing the laws at all. We're just letting everybody do whatever the fuck they want. Unless you happen to insult or hurt the feelings of a protected class.
Yeah.
Well, we're in the phase of bad men or soft men make hard times. We're right there.
I don't know. I think it's going to get worse.
Oh, I'm not saying we're done yet. I'm saying we just started.
That's like, I love that with, inflation is going down. No, it's not. The rate of inflation is going down. That's different. Oh, food is cheaper than it's been in the last 3 years. You mean since you took office?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh God, I love the whole line of, homelessness has gone down, employment is up. This is the best economy that we've ever had in the United States. Poverty isn't a problem. We're not having drug issues. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I'm
easy when you make shit
that.
up.
No, I know. I'm like, only a small percentage of people at this point, I think, are really eating the bullshit that they've been given. Everybody else is waking up and going, what the hell is going on?
You have to be as stupid as my parents to believe the Biden administration.
Well, it's the press, too.
Oh, yeah. The press knows they're lying.
And oh well, if I don't see it on the news, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
No, the
Oh,
problem
did you
with the
hear?
press is that they'll put out something and then they'll report it and then they'll believe their own bullshit and think that it's real.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Speaking of the press, this is interesting. I think you'll because the conversation that I heard you guys having about CNN earlier. Do you hear Chris Cuomo's now on some like independent podcast show and he's center right, proving that CNN really was just entertainment. The guy apparently is center right. It's like,
Yeah, except for the
wow.
Overton window has been moved so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can be center right when he starts talking about bringing some law and order back to the fucking country.
I think a lot of us were just moderates, but now we're being called hardcore conservatives.
Oh, fuck,
Yeah. Well,
dead
yeah.
center. I was dead center.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of things that
You peed
people
on the
like.
floor.
I know there's a lot of things that I would be okay with that a lot of people don't like. And this mostly comes from working for San Diego Unified. I'm okay with my taxpayer money going towards children getting basic health, dental, and vision. Because I saw what a lot of those kids, a lot of those kids lived in hotels. Parents weren't, don't know where the parents are. Or the parents are working 2 or 3 jobs. These kids, I remember the nurse at one of the schools I worked at had 2 lockers full of just hygiene products alone because a lot of these kids came in and they stank. And, it's like my parents can't afford to buy soap or deodorant. And the other locker was full of food. And she would fill up grocery bags and send these kids home with food because they would have no food on the weekends. They were only getting their food from schools. And a lot of the people at the middle schools I was working at were worried about how the kids were going to eat during break, especially summer, because they knew that those kids would starve. And so I was okay with that. Also, another thing is I am okay with my taxpayer money going towards veterans actually getting proper health care.
That's never going to happen.
Totally fine with. I know, and it sucks. It sucks. That is, veterans are.
It's not a money issue. It's not a money issue.
It's not.
No, it's not. Well, it partially, but the big one is it's the bureaucracy. It's the medical bureaucracy that's involved. What?
I was gonna say and management.
Yeah. You keep roboting out.
Yeah, you're roboting.
She said management.
Yeah, it's management. It really is. And it's that, they every time they want to cut some money, they immediately hit up the veterans funds. I mean, there was a big thing where they were talking about, oh, we're going to help balance the budget by making veteran disability taxable retroactive. It's like, and anybody who wants universal health care in America, the VA, that will be your universal health care.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy it. You'll like it like I did, where they put off my surgery until it was too late. You'll like it when they do. And this is a neat thing that the VA does. They ignore the problem and say it doesn't exist until 80% of the people suffering from it die off. And then suddenly they want lots of funds. So they say, oh, we need a crash program to help these people. Agent Orange, depleted uranium, and now the burn pits. And that will be, if you get universal health care, that will be your medical. Your medical will be somebody who doesn't even work in the insurance industry. This will be some middle management Karen looking and going, yeah, I don't think they need this. She doesn't look at anything, just whether or not she should approve it. No, I don't think she needs this. They need this.
Tell me what the issue with depleted uranium, because I had a talk with Kat's father who swore that it wasn't an issue.
Everybody said it wasn't an issue. They constantly talk about how it wasn't an issue. But the big one I'd hear is, you'd have to inhale powder from it. It shouldn't be an issue. But a lot of the tankers and a lot of the ordnance guys that handled a lot of it, as in ripping open the packaging and, handling it with their bare hands, got real sick. And they got sick with what looked like low-grade radiation burns. And the whole time, everybody jumped up and down and said, well, that's impossible because depleted uranium doesn't put off that much radiation. And then they kept ignoring it and kept saying, there was guys with embedded VU shrapnel that got weird cancers. And they're like, no, you were exposed to something else. But now everybody's gone, so there's no investigation. So we don't know if it was the depleted uranium, if it was something in the packaging, or if it was that nobody knows what happened. Nobody knows what it was. So, and now they're going, oh, were you exposed to DU? You might want to get a hold of the VA. And it's like, wow, everybody's, a lot of people are dead. So I guess you can admit to it. But yeah, I've heard over and over, there's no issue with it. There's no issue with it, and I've heard from people I trust, people that work with, scientists.
Right.
And they said that there's no problem with DU. And I'd be like, well, then what's making everybody that handles it sick? And they, the honest ones would be like, we don't know. The ones that weren't honest were like, oh, it's all in their heads. So whether or not depleted uranium is really dangerous, I don't know, because
as long as they don't look, it's okay.
Yeah. And it makes me wonder, what if it was the packaging? Maybe if it was something else, could it have been like, could have been the powder? What the fuck was the powder? But that's like, there's a lot of shit that's,
so there's like, any number of bumps in the manufacturing that could have been the problem,
and the storage and the loading and a lot of other shit, and yeah, I hear, oh, depleted uranium isn't dangerous. Well, then why is it that the places where the depleted uranium ended up in the ground from like Apache fire, why is that listed as we have to dig all this up because it'll contaminate the water supply? If me handling it is just fine, which is it?
So then it really isn't depleted.
It's where we're at. We don't know, and I don't know.
Yeah, it's just that. There you go. It isn't really depleted, then, is it? And well, how many times has the U.S. government, fucked up?
Oh God, that's like the what is that called? It's it's the little white pills they gave us in the Gulf the first time, caused lots of fucking problems, and they pretty much scrubbed it from our medical records.
Really?
Jeez.
Yeah. What is it?
No, you didn't get that.
Pyridostigmine bromide, anti-nerve agent pill used during the Gulf War as a pre-treatment to protect military personnel from death in an attack of nerve agent Soman. Yeah, they fucking scrubbed the shit out of that off of medical records. It has been used for more than 14 years in the routine treatment of myasthenia gravis and may be used following surgery. Anyway, it was... Anyway, that's a whole shit show, because it came out that they used sarin and tabin and mustard gas and fucking Soman on everybody, and they denied it for fucking years. So hey,
mustard gas during the Gulf War?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but oh well, you didn't get exposed to enough. Are you fucking kidding me? And that'll be your healthcare. That'll be your healthcare if it's universal healthcare. It'll be somebody with no medical training deciding whether or not they should make you an appointment. Or they might just go, well, I don't really feel like doing work this week, so I'm just going to delete all my emails.
My one of my conversations with Kat's dad was another one about the Gulf War, 1 and 2, how they swore up and down no chemical weapons were used. And if you recall, one of the things her dad developed was the spectrometer on various sensors, vehicles, and on the Predator drones to detect chemical plumes. And I remember Mike saying at one point to me, he's like, I don't know why they keep saying that there were no chemical weapons used. Saddam used them.
Yeah.
My instruments were picking up the chemical weapons all the fucking time. You remember that, Kat?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I totally remember that. And yeah, it baffled me too, because I'm like, I remember, seeing footage of, some of the testing, and him and his buddies talking about, watching plumes go off in the middle of the night. It's like, geez.
That'll be your medical care. It'll be like, hey, I need this surgery to survive, and there'll be somebody in an office going, I don't feel like working today, so I'm just going to delete my emails and claim I didn't get them. And then you're going, I put in all my paperwork. It took me a month and a half to get all that paperwork together. Why aren't I being approved? Well, we don't have it. And you've got to start all over. I mean, it'll be great fun. Everybody will love it. Trust me.
Damn.
I would like to see. I was talking to a doctor a long time ago. I was sitting there bullshitting with him before surgery, and he was telling me that the biggest price increase of medical treatment is for a while it was malpractice insurance, but the biggest thing that increases the prices of your medical treatment are the administration in the hospitals and the CEOs and the board of directors.
That doesn't shock me at all.
I was going to say, they got to get their paycheck first before anybody else can be helped.
That's a problem at all levels of society.
And if you want to lower your medical bill, the first thing you do is say, I would like an itemized bill, please. Your bill will usually drop by half.
That's good to know.
Oh yeah, it's true.
That's very true. And then you pull out the explanation of benefits and you match them to make sure that it's still accurate.
All right. You want to call it a night?
Yeah, sure. It's up to you.
I got more chores to go to.
I'm going to stay up and play video games till 6 in the morning.
That sounds fun.
I should be writing, but I can't seem to. I don't want to.
You know what, RALT'S? If it makes you feel any better, I'm kind of in the same state. I just agitated, can't think straight, can't focus. I mean, I had a couple really good months there, and it's like I hit December, and the same thing happened last December where I had been jamming on Boobs of Steel, getting it done, and then I hit December, and it's like, fuck, I can't even think. So
yeah, it's not that I can't think. It's just I kind of want to hang out with the wife and kick back.
That's an even better reason.
Yeah.
That's a great reason.
Be with family.
I just want to hang out with my wife.
Good man. I applaud you. Very good man.
I see nothing wrong with this plan.
You know what, Kat? I think I should be like RALT'S and do what RALT'S is doing.
Just hang out with the wife
as well.
Let's stay up till 4 in the morning and drink coffee and laugh about the dumb shit we did in our relationship. That's one of our favorites. Hey, remember that time we got drunk and you went to piss on the tire and didn't realize it was next to the electric fence?
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
What? Sorry, no. He meant it. It's funny.
Yeah. Just laugh about that shit. Just laugh about that shit. Yeah.
The man
Trista?
that attracts electricity peed on the electrical.
You did, or did Trista do it?
Trista did. She leaned against the truck.
Ow.
So how badly did she get zotted?
She was all dancing around cussing.
Was it a Brazilian?
No, almost. But yeah, I mean, just if I'm gonna say it to anybody listening that's married and you've been married for over 5 years, you kind of feel like lately you guys have been in a rut. If you don't have to go to work the next day, stay up till 2 or 4 in the morning, drink coffee, and sit by one of the windows so you can look out the window while you talk, and just talk about the fun stuff, enjoyable stuff that's happened in your marriage. Even if it does make you look a little dumb, laugh at yourself and laugh at the stuff you've done in your marriage, because it really helps. I mean, you'll be like, that was a great night. You didn't go anywhere. You spent like $1.50 in cheap Folgers coffee and sugar and creamer, but it really makes a difference, because number one, you're paying attention to each other, you're talking to each other, and you're reminding each other of why it's been so fun to be married to them.
Damn straight.
Well, Kat, we can do that.
We can totally do that. I mean, we kind of do that every weekend anyway.
To a degree, yeah.
Why
are you roboting out so much, Kat? Well, okay. We're calling it a night.
We'll call it a night here.
Night, everyone.
All right, night.
Oh,
Night,
wait,
everybody.
and the links to our books are in the description, so
Yay.
buy them. Hey, Fiona, how you doing? Okay, good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.